When I was about 8 or 9 years old, we used to do basketball for church on Wednesday nights, and there was this gentleman that used to come. He was a close friend of the family for the last 40 years, actually, and he started to befriend me. I was very socially awkward, and he took me under his wing. He started taking me to his house, and we'd watch movies, hang out, play fetch with his dog and things, and he started becoming closer and closer as he was grooming me. And I went through some sexual abuse that was traumatizing and life-altering, to say the least. I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't know how to because of what he did to me. When he did it, he would tell me how nobody would ever accept me, and how I would always be how I'd always be different, and just I'd be an outcast in my family. I'd be a black sheep. And he said that nobody would understand, and they would think I was, they would think that there was something wrong with me, and it was all my fault, and I was the one that caused it. And he just played a lot of mind games with me. I was always causing trouble, breaking the rules, flipping out on teachers, students. I treated the ones that loved me the worst, because I knew that it was kind of like a test of their love, to see if they truly did love me, like he said they didn't, and to see if I could feel comfortable enough to tell them what I'd been through, And the hardest part about it was I still couldn't tell anybody what had happened to me. I was still struggling with it so bad. I still got the round from the 22 is what I had held to my chin. I couldn't take it anymore. I said it was over, and I pulled the trigger, and I still got the round, actually. So my cousin Kevin had actually taken me to go watch a football game at a friend's house, Buffalo Bills game, and when we were on our way back, he says, I know what's going on with you at home. Your dad talked to me. He says, I really want you to talk to me. He says, I think I know what's going on. I said, you don't have even the slightest clue. My cousin Kevin said that he had sexually abused him all those years ago, and he says, I think he's abusing you. And all I did was just cry. I didn't even say a word to him. I literally spent like 40 minutes crying in his car because I couldn't find words, and I just couldn't believe that he knew, and it was because he cared, and that's, he could see it, he says, I can just see it in your eyes, he said, I want you to get help. And that's ultimately where Save Our became a part of my life. That's where I started my counseling with Alice Sweet Fates. She was a life changer. She helped me so much through it, and to understand it, and to feel comfortable enough to talk about it truly in detail. It took many months, if not over a year. So we made the police report. Save Our was amazing throughout the entire thing. They found me an advocate to go to court with me, and to explain what was going on with me. And ultimately, in the end, we ended up getting Daryl to plead guilty, and it was the most healing I've had, hearing him in court openly say what he did to me. He's never had another chance to harm another child, it was just the best way to win against him. I finally started a true path of healing, because now I had in my head, I'm gonna show him he was wrong, and I'm gonna show him that he's not gonna have that control over my life that he wanted. So that's when I went to get my GED. I went to college to get some college credits and joined the Army. In the Army, I got to go to Fort Benning. I was honor grad out of there. I was the high marksman in honor grad after coming in as like the third fattest kid, and I really just had that heart to prove him wrong, and to make my father proud and my family proud. Life now, things are going amazing. Because of the abuse, I wanted to help others also, and that's where all the service came in with the military, and I ended up becoming an Oswego County Sheriff, and that's actually how I ended up meeting, what is my life now, my fiance Paige, and because of meeting her through the sheriffs, and what drove me to become one. We have a little daughter, Elena. She's 3 weeks old, and truly there aren't words for it. Being a father, she's precious, and they've changed my world, but definitely for the best, and now they are my world. We have truly everything we want. We have each other, our precious little girl, healthy, our home. Truly, without Save Our programs like Save Our and United Way, wouldn't have gotten the help I needed to get to bring him to, to help the path of healing to where I had the courage to bring him and report him and make it through the court case. I was able to always go back to Save Our whenever I needed. It wasn't like you have to come here for a set amount of time, that's it, we don't have any more time for you. No, they always make time for the victims, and it's just, I wish there were more words for them. It truly is an amazing program that they have over there. So I owe a big debt of gratitude to Save Our.
We are pleased to be chosen to be the chairs of the 2016 Cayuga County United Way campaign. We have both recently retired after 30 years of education in the county and have come to understand that personal and educational growth occur not only in the classroom, but with the assistance of outside help. The many programs of the United Way have a direct positive impact on the lives of children and families.
Jeremy's story is a very compelling story of a young man who met a life trauma that could have ended quite differently. Because of intensive interventions of a United Way partner agency, Jeremy and his family received the necessary supports to be able to meet that challenge and start a life of accomplishments. Jeremy's life was positively impacted, along with hundreds of others, by United Way efforts.
Many of you more than likely know someone who has benefited from the United Way services. Could be you, a family member, a neighbor, a friend. It could be any one of us tomorrow.
In 2015, 45,178 residents of Cayuga County received services and benefits of our United Way. That's 57% of our total population living in our county. Now, some of you might say, well, what can I do? How can I help? How do I become involved? First of all, we'd ask you to learn as much as possible, learn as much as you can about the United Way. Not only the programs, but the many services that are available within those programs. And then second of all, spread the word. Reach out to people. Reach out to people in your workplace, reach out to people in your schools, in your churches, in your community centers.
A small amount each week can make a huge difference. $1 a week can give 2 days respite to a family who is caring for a loved one with Alzheimer's disease. $2 a week can supply food pantry supplies for a family of 3 for 4 months. United Way dollars remain local. United Way dollars make our community strong.
Human service needs in our region are increasing, particularly in the area of addiction, poverty, and mental health. Dollars are needed, and dollars will help. Please join us this year in making that difference as we begin our campaign season with the United Way.
It has been said that sympathy sees and says, I'm sorry. Compassion sees and says, I'll help. If we can live the difference, we can make a difference.
Please join us this year in making a difference by donating to the United Way.